stock market. It works everywhere. Boca. So that's not too far from my hometown in Fort Lauderdale. Welcome, 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 welcome to everybody. Let's go. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. It looks like we got everybody poured themselves in. Welcome to everybody. I'm sure we'll get some people that'll pour themselves in as well as they come in here. So that chat room is up here as well as the Q&A. You guys can always put your questions in here as I go throughout this webinar, and I'll usually answer those questions at the end, guys. All right. So before I start, I just want to thank all of you guys for showing up today. I really do appreciate it. You guys showed up on a Wednesday night to make yourselves better. So tap yourself on the back for that. Great work for that. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how my precise stock hits have turned my $500 account into now over $425,000 in profit. We're actually at 426 now. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Excited to review this with you guys. Let's dive on in. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so before I start, let me get back a little bit. Before I start, I have to go over a little bit of a disclosure. So I do like to let everybody know that you are going to see some significant wins. You're going to see some losses, but all of these are results of my past history, and I cannot guarantee anything. There's nothing that can be guaranteed here, but all of this that you're about to see is part of my past history and my last decade of trading. The one thing I do want to point out is I always like to say, the more you're going to put into anything, the more work you put in it, the more work you're going to usually get out. All right. And that's anything in life, and most likely with the stock market as well. All right, guys, let's dive on in. So today, here's what we are going to learn. We're going to learn about how my predictive and consistent patterns target returns in under 48 hours. To tell you the truth, most of my trades are 24 hours, usually below that. So I'll be able to show you guys that today. I'll talk about why I choose microcap and penny stocks and small cap stocks to grow a small account, and honestly, any type of account. I really do think these are the stocks that can grow any type of account. And what I love about it is not all the eyes are there. It's a spot that is very unique, and we're there to take advantage of it. We're also going to talk about how my formula blends precision, speed, and one of the most important things that I'm going to teach today is risk control. Because a lot of people have the wrong perspective when it comes to penny stocks and small cap stocks. They think they're very risky. And that was my perspective when I first started trading. But I was able to learn how to control that, and I'm going to talk about that today. And then we'll just talk about the important thing, how I spot these very explosive stocks, the ones that jump 100%, 50%, 20% in one day. So great returns that you can give yourself in a day, or at least that I was able to give myself with these patterns. And then the most important thing, my results in the past decade and how I was able to use this strategy and use the patterns that I have now traded with for a decade to turn my $500 into $425,000 trading some dirt cheap stocks. All right, so this is my whole journey. If you guys want to check it out, you can go to profit.ly and you can look under stock snipers, and you'll be able to see every single one of my trades. Now, it did take some time to be able to learn my strategy, so it didn't just happen overnight. And that's something that I do want to point out to all of you guys. I'm not the guru that's going to tell you you're going to win all of these trades. That's not usually realistic at all. And honestly, to tell you the truth, a lot of these penny stock guys are just fake guru guys that I just want to be. They usually talk out of their butt. So I actually really wanted to create what I created now today, the community that I have, to kind of prove those people wrong, you know? And it took a little bit of time for me to create the strategy, but after about 3 years of trading, I was able to gain some consistency. And after that, it's been consistent from there on out. And what I mean consistent, guys, I'm talking about being able to pay my bills, mortgage, all that good stuff week in and week out from just trading. Now, I like to point out some statistics right here to the right, just to show you guys. It's not huge gains that are making these wins. My average gain is 388. So it's not like one of those people where you got to make thousands of dollars every single trade to really grow an account. No, it's all about just knowing how to let the winners win and getting yourself in the right positions that we're going to teach you about to make sure that your losers are minimal. And as you can see here, our losses are a 6% average. So out of this whole journey, on the downside, we only average a 6% loss. And that's really good. Honestly, we usually look for a little more, 5% or less, but I like that 6% ratio. So a lot of people would ask, how have you made 425,000 in this span of time, but still lost 43% of your trades? Well, it's a simple thing. And that's all it is you know how to handle your losses and you're getting into the stocks that set you up with the right risk and reward. And we are able to find those stocks, like I said, from 2017. So at one point, I thought I was going to disappear, and it's continued week in and week out. This is actually an example of the week in and week out. So nothing is guaranteed, like I said, and sometimes you're going to lose. But out of the whole decade that I've been trading since 2020, I've only actually had 4 losing months. So 52 out of 56 of my past trading decade, at least since 2020, so not a full decade, but to 2020, has been 52 out of 56 winning months. So 83% of our times we've been winning. That's usually going to pay your bills there. 4 out of 56, so 7% on the downside. So that's month by month. You can see literally starting from COVID, when the markets were at its worst and everybody was panicking, people were losing their jobs. We were having a $17,000 month, right as COVID was in its peak. So it just shows you what exactly is going on here. And it shows you that these patterns and these stocks that I'm about to show to you guys are consistent in up markets, down markets, because that's what this is, and side to side markets. So any type of market that you're going to play in, these type of plays are consistent. And that's always something I like to point out. So that is our quick little journey right there, month to month. That's how we pay the bills right there. Our biggest month recently, getting close to a $40,000 month. So who is this for? I always like to talk about who is this for. Honestly, I believe it's for anybody, anyone out there that's trying to grow any type of account, specifically a smaller account. If you have other strategies out there, I know there are a lot of option traders here, and I welcome all option traders. I would love for you guys to come check this out. What I do like about this compared to the options, because I have played options before, but I found a really competitive edge here, and I've just stayed consistent with that, and that's what's worked for me. What I do found good here, and what John Carter talked about a little bit in his video that he shouted me out in, shout out John, but he talks about how honestly you can buy the same amount of shares of these cheaper stocks for almost the same premium that you would at the options that you guys are usually buying, and you have no expiration. So realistically, you kind of don't have to worry about that delta and that expiration. You're really just worrying about a cut spot and letting the plays play. And these type of stocks that I'm going to show you today do end up giving you the returns that options do. And honestly, they give you a really nice risk levels. I'm also going to show you, it's for people that are busy. So if you're busy throughout the day, this strategy is definitely for you as well. I give you enough tools. I'm going to provide for you enough tools throughout every single day that will give you, if you are occupied, you'll be able to still profit, or at least what I've been able to do is still profit with these tools, even though I'm on vacation, even though I'm traveling, even though I'm in the dentist, even though I'm at the gym, whatever I want to do. If you're busy, or when I had a full-time job, because I did have a full-time job before I started trading. I didn't just become a trader. And then anyone, honestly, that just wants to enjoy a simple trading setup. There's a lot of people out here that sell indicators, all these different things. I'm not here to confuse you guys. I'm here to make this as simple as possible. You really are no real indicators. We're just playing patterns, 5 different patterns that have been consistent for me, like I just showed you, week in and week out, being able to pay my bills and more. So before I dive in, I like to talk a little bit about myself. You guys get to know me just for a second, and then we'll dive into the stocks. I think it's important because everybody has their own story when it comes to the market. Everybody is their own boss. It's my favorite thing about the stock market. You create your own boss. You become your own boss. You create your own schedule. You have your own flexibility. So this is how I was able to do that for myself. I'm actually 32 years old. I'm originally from Fort Lauderdale. So shout out. I saw a couple people that were located really close there. If anyone else that just joined from Fort Lauderdale, put it up in there. Let's see if anyone else is there. I'm now in Orlando, Florida. I graduated from Florida State. So if you have any Seminoles, put them up in there as well. FSU, I was there when they won the national championship, and I'm a huge football guy. So I was proud to be there for that time. I have an identical twin brother, and you guys are going to learn about him in a second. I love to longboard. It's probably my favorite thing to do. If you follow me on social media, you'll be able to see I'm always doing that good stuff. But let's talk about a little bit of my past history jobs, because I wasn't one of those kids that just started and just had a whole bunch of money to be able to just trade in the stock market. I actually had to find out what I wanted to do with my life. And I always just wanted to make money. I always knew I wanted to make money. That was like my number one thing. I believe that that was flexibility to me. Everyone has different reasons to make money. My whole reasoning was I just wanted to be flexible, wanted to have my own job. I usually didn't like people telling me what to do. And I did that for a long time in my life. I was a busboy at 15. Then I became a server, bartender. Then I worked at Jimmy John's for a little bit. Good subs, but not a good job. Then I was a gym manager at Orange Theory Fitness. And then I turned into a full-time trader. So I jumped around a lot. There was actually a couple other jobs in the middle of all that stuff, but I wasn't just handed, a whole bunch of money to start my account. I actually started my account with only $3,000, and the account actually went down to $500 before it turned over and excelled. So it actually dropped a little bit, took a couple of years to learn, as you saw earlier in the last slide that I was showing you. It took about a 2 years before really figuring out. And that 2016 was the dip that I took right here. But my goal, honestly, I believe that with the tools that I'm providing and with this short-term playbook, that somebody is out there can do it. I believe somebody can do it in a quicker time than me. And that's really the goal, and that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing now. But yeah, so I have 10, after talking about my normal job, I became a full-time trader in 2018. So now I've been doing this with the flexibility of being able to travel, do what I want since 2018. So it's been about 7 years, 8 years now, almost. It's pretty crazy. We're coming on 7 years now. Unbelievable to say. And I have 10 years of trading experience, but honestly, 7 of those I'd say are consistent. And then my favorite thing, I'd say my most proud thing is I created my own trading community. That's kind of how I started my name for myself. And we called ourselves the Stock Snipers. So I don't know if you guys know about the Stock Snipers at all, but if you do, I was one of the 3 Stock Snipers. I'm a founder. It actually started with my twin brother. So that's actually him on the left. If you could guess, that's not the tall guy. And then that's my best friend right there. And us 3 actually started a business together. And we never thought that when we were growing up. We really just always knew we wanted to make money together. But to be able to start a business together and off of just really our strategy, it came off of us deciding to meet up with each other every single night in 2017 when we had full-time jobs. So I graduated school in 2016. And then we all had full-time jobs. That's when I was the gym manager. And they actually were my brother was actually a corporate worker, and he was actually a corporate worker. So 2 corporate workers, 1 gym manager, and we would meet together every day after work on Wednesdays, and we would review our trades together. And we would review them every Wednesday. And we started to go to a Dunkin' Donuts locally in South Florida. It was in Pembroke Pines. If any of you guys know where that is, really shout out to you guys. But we would go there. And in this Dunkin' Donuts, a lot of these Dunkin' Donuts have meeting rooms. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with Dunkin' Donuts and meeting rooms, but I didn't even know they had these till I started to do them. But they have meeting rooms. And what happened was we started to meet just us 3 together. We'd obviously start to tell our local friends. Our local friends started to show up. Then that started to tell people. Other people started to find out. And it became to a point that we actually filled up the whole Dunkin' Donuts room. So that's actually a picture of the whole squad right here, repping Dunkin' Donuts hard. We're all standing right out front of our Pembroke Pines Dunkin' Donuts. This was actually our first post back in 2016, as you can see, kind of shouting out to all the people, show up every Wednesday night. And we're here again on Wednesday night together. So this is a tradition that I don't ever want to let go away. And something I'm going to bring into simpler trading because I now have the Stock Mavericks Mastery. And I'm definitely going to be bringing that into that. So this is something we've been doing for a while. It kind of started who we were At first, I started to post on social media under our account with just trade ideas, trade wins, not even our face. And after 2 years of not posting our face, we eventually posted our faces. And then it took off from there. The Dunkin' Donuts meetings became too full. The Instagram posts, people were like, let's do something not locally only. And I created my own service, and it was amazing service. And I've had members literally that's been with me now for 7+ years. We've helped over 1,200 people, but I've had people that have came and visited me in South Florida. It turned more than just a stock trading company, education service. It really turned into a community, and it became a friendship. I have lifelong friends now from this, and that's exactly what I'm bringing into here, guys. It's not just stock trading community. I know that's big. I know a lot of people are, we all are trying to make money and do that. But I'm honestly, at the end of the day, I'm trying to build a community. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. And I want to be surrounded by other people that want to do that too. And that's kind of what we created here. And that's why Simpler came out and found me. And that's why I'm going to bring that into. So I'm actually merging my community with the Simpler community. We're all going to be coming together as one. So you guys are actually going to be able to talk to Nick, my brother. You'll be able to talk to other old snipers that I've been with forever in our community. We'll all be together as one. So I'm pretty excited about that, to bring that all together. And then to wrap things up about myself, because I do want to dive into the trading. How I found penny stocks. That's a big thing that I want to bring up, because a lot of you guys are probably sitting here like, what is this guy talking about? Why is he talking about penny stocks? I know it sounds like Jordan Belfort. It sounds like Wolf of Wall Street. No, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not taking advantage of people, but we are almost taking advantage of people that are uneducated. And I'm not saying I'm going to sit here and take your money. You still have to press all the buttons, but we do show you how to find these stocks, usually before others find them. And we're usually selling to the people that are buying in at the high spots. So that's kind of why I chose penny stocks. How I found them: when I first started trading, like I told you, I had $2,000 to $3,000 to my name, pretty much. Put it in the stock market, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to grow whatever I had. That's my whole purpose. I wanted to kind of excel, and I knew that 2,000 to 3,000, I know there's a stock market out there. Let's go figure it out. I traded a large cap stock. It was called Rite Aid. It actually took it 100%. A lot of you North people know Rite Aid. They're private now. They're not live anymore. They actually got taken private. But I doubled my account in 1 full year. After that, I found penny stocks. It was actually the cannabis penny stocks in 2015, and I doubled my account in 1 day. So it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that's how I took advantage of really the strategy I have now. I really just kept trying to find those double stocks that happened in 1 day. And after searching for them, like you saw, for about 2 years of trial and error, I started to really figure out, if you're able to cut your losses, meaning get in at the right spots where your losses are minimal, and let your wins win, double your account in 1 day, compounding growth just takes over, guys. And that's how you're able to turn a $500 account into $425,000. It's not a race. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm not here to tell you this is something that's going to happen overnight, but I am here to tell you that it is realistic. I've done it. I've watched my partners do it. My 2 other partners, they've done the same exact thing. So I've watched it happen, and I believe others, if I can do it, I always like to say, this was my thing: if I could do it, others can do it as well. And like I talked about earlier, everyone likes to do whatever they want with their money. One of my proudest things is I decided to invest taking my investment into another investment, and I actually bought a house. So me and my brother actually own a house in Fort Lauderdale. It's one of my best investments yet. It's better than any long-term stock I've ever bought, because the value that's going up with it. So that's something I'm proud that I did with some of my market money, and as well as got to travel. I've traveled over 10 countries now, 20 states, and all of that while trading stocks. Some of those times I actually some of those times I actually paid for my account, or I literally paid for my trip while I was traveling. So some of those times I literally paid for my vacation on the vacation. Those are my favorite times. All right, so that's about enough talking about me. Let's dive in. Here's a picture of my community, though, before I do dive out. Just want to show you, these are some of the people that will be joining you guys, not just my twin brother. He'll be giving you his insight in the team, but you'll also have some traders that have been with me forever. El Chamo, aka Johnny, you'll see him. He's been with me since 2018. He's one of the guys that came and visited me in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Cisco, he came and visited me as well in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We have times we traded together. Here's Sauce Boy. That's his name. You'll see him as well. He has done really well himself. He's a 6-digit trader too. You know, he's part of the sniper community. He's been with us since day one. He actually signed up with us on day one. And then here's some other traders with our tees on. As you can see, we got some gear. Always a big fan of all that stuff. So hopefully you guys can be along in this community and continue it. We just started it up and we called it the Mavericks Mastery. It's happening now with the simpler team. So would love to have all of you guys a part of this amazing community that's literally starting. Today is the first week. So we're on the Monumental week. This is the first week ever that we're going to be starting, merging our simpler team and our stock snipers team to call them the Stock Mavericks. So why small caps? Why penny stocks? Why micro caps? I'm sure a lot of you guys are asking yourself that. The number one thing I want to point out is they aren't untradeable. A lot of people out there have two bad, usually stigmas on them. One, they're super risky, so they're going to fall out no matter what. No, that's completely incorrect. We're always going to set you up in positions where they don't fall out. As you saw in our chart, there's no big drawdowns. As you saw in our month-to-month profit, there was really no big drawdowns in any of those months. That's because we're setting yourself up. We're setting you up into the right stocks, and we find the right stocks in these penny stocks, small cap and micro caps that give you minimal risk levels. A lot of people, and then the second thing, a lot of people think they don't have volume, so they end up creating this pump and dump. No, every single stock that we trade has volume. Now, there are stocks out there that are pump and dumps, and it's not like I'm sitting there calling the CEO up like Jordan Belfort, like the Wolf of Wall Street. No, I'm not doing that. I just identify this stuff before it happens because my patterns have been doing that with me now for 7 straight years. So what I do is I like to jump on the fact that I can identify these things before they happen. And yeah, unfortunately, we do have to sell our shares and make 50, 20 to 100% to the grandpas and the grandmas out there that aren't as educated as us and that do end up buying the top of these pumps. But we don't do that. We actually teach you how to get in at the bottom with low risk levels and sell to those people at the top. You don't want to be those people at the top. Those are late to the party. We always want to be early to the party. And that's what you're going to find out with my sniper style approach. I called our community stock snipers because we were so precise. I'm very precise on where I pick my spots. So even though I'm trading stocks that could be penny stocks, they still will have small risk levels. You saw earlier, my average risk is 6%. So even though we're playing, 10-cent stocks, you can still risk 6% or less on those type of stocks. And I'm here to teach you guys about that stuff today. And then how you turn volatility into profit. I'm not playing penny stock, small cap, micro cap stocks that don't have any volume. There's tons of those out there. There's also tons of large cap stocks out there, guys, that don't have volume. I'm showing you guys the micro caps, the small caps, penny caps, that have tons of volume. And those are the ones we take advantage of. They're easy to get in and out. Everybody has their eyes on those big 7 stocks, all the big chip stocks. You even have big bankers in there. You have industrial AI now is actually, computers are now actually trading. So you have literally people that are trading, banks that are setting up people to make every penny. That's so hard to compete with. It's really hard to compete with all those type of people that have big money. But with this in our game, what we're doing is we're really trading with people like me and you. And as long as we can take advantage of, and it's not taking advantage of anyone because we're literally finding shares and there's enough volume for everyone to find the shares at the same time, but selling to the people that are uneducated. So we're just the educated ones. And that's everything in life. There's educated people and uneducated people in everything. So a good way of how we spot volatility and turn it into profit before it happens, and I guess to find the diamond in the rough, is everybody remembers the meme mania. The meme stock mania was AMC, GameStop. They got those crazy spikes. Now, I'm not here, and I didn't take advantage of AMC and GameStop. Those did spike. But what happens is I know the stocks that spike and follow along with these style of plays. So there's usually groups of stocks that follow along with different sectors, And that's what I know about. I specialize in finding the smaller stocks. So GameStop and AMC is where all the big money is. That's where everybody's looking. But where's the small money? Where can we get in, take good advantage of it, and it possibly spike 100% more? You know, it definitely usually spikes more because it's not as much people in it. Where can you find that? And that's what we help you find. So GameStop did get this big spike in March. Sorry about that. This is actually March of this year. So if you guys didn't know what happened, GameStop actually, there was Roaring Kitty. They came out with a movie on Netflix about Roaring Kitty. He's that big of an investor. He disappeared for like 4 years. No, it was like 2 years. And then when he came out for the first time ever, the stock spiked like crazy. That spike causes other stocks to spike. Why does it cause other stocks to spike? Because what happens is once this spikes, other people are going to get on their computers and they're going to start looking at stocks related to GameStop. Now, I know how to find those stocks before they spike, so I don't need to sit there and type on the computer what are related stocks to GameStop. I'm usually going after those. I have lists of every single sector. Also, what I'm pretty good with is I'm not just going to go buy every single stock that's related to GameStop. I'm also going to find the ones that I believe have the right risk to rewards. And with the past history of our 7 years of consistency that I've been trading, and I've been doing this, why I keep saying we guys, is because I've been doing this with this community that I have now since 2018. So it's not like I've been doing this by myself. I've been doing it with a full community, transparent. They've been able to see my trades in the chat room every day. So I've been sending buy and sell alerts to them. Everybody's been able to see it. We review our trades every week. So this is transparency. This happens. I know it might sound fake and it doesn't look as real, $500 to 425K. But trust me, it is. And this is how it happens. And I do believe, I really do. My goal is to find someone out there that can do it quicker than me. I really do. You know, my twin brother was great at this, you know, too. But he didn't have no education in finance. Like I actually studied finance in school. He didn't study it at all. So you don't even need any finance background. You don't need to know anything about that. You can still do this. And my goal, like I said, is to find someone that can do this quicker. But with GameStop, when this spiked, I know about Barnes and Nobles. Look what happens. So this is actually happening at 513 to 518 pretty much. So that's the spike it's happening. Now this happens slightly delayed pretty much, but once the volume comes in, we take advantage of it. And we take advantage of it at a precise spot right here. That's another key thing for you guys to realize. I know a lot of people would say, oh, where are you buying it? This is a big spike. We're getting at it right here. And an example of it, and we did this live in front of our chat room. Our whole chat watched this live. Buying it right there. So you can see 30 cents, which is $30 because it did a reverse split. That's where we're getting it, at the bottom. And the risk level is right there. So small risk. Look at the downside and then look at comparison to the upside. It actually spiked from 30 to 130. So that's 30, 60, 90, 120. It's like 300% on your money you could have made overnight there. And honestly, guys, I'm not here to tell you you have to pick the perfect bottom and the perfect top. I always want you to get very close and get good with the bottom, and that's what we teach you guys, and that's what I educate. But the top part, you don't have to get the top. It's just about taking the meat of the move, so taking any type of profit. Any of this profit is good on the way up. We actually took it on the way up, pretty much selling it at 60, so almost 100% profit there. And that's overnight. This is one day. It was actually during the day, so it actually didn't happen. We actually didn't even hold it overnight. We could have made way more on our money. We actually made all this money during the day, and then it gaps up like crazy. So it just shows you, you just make the meat of the move, and you move on, and it's a rinse and repeat thing. And that's how we've consistently stayed week in and week out profitable. The real secret behind it and what we're going to go over right now is really pinpointing those perfect entry and exit spots like I just showed you in Barnes & Nobles. We knew what was going on in GameStop. A lot of people, the uneducated people that I talk about, they would be buying Barnes & Nobles up here because what happens is they would now see it when it's up 100%. They would know about it because they know it's related to GameStop. And GameStop did spike later on, came right back down. Same with this one. If you were buying here, it never came back to that spot. You know, I mean, this is technically a pump and dump, but if you look at it, guys, the pump happens and you have time to get out. And we usually only like to trade 24 hours, 48 hours max. And on this case, it was from 12 o'clock to 16 o'clock. So 6 hours, 17 o'clock, which is technically my time, 12 o'clock Eastern time until 5 Eastern time. So that was 5 hours, $4,700, $100 every minute. Pretty much. Crazy. That's a great way to live, and honestly, it happens. It's not unrealistic. I've seen it happen. It hasn't just happened to me. All right. So pinpointing perfect entries and exits. Precision risk management. That's very important. Like I just showed you, we had such a small risk on that, and the upside was so high. And then the big thing is the consistent growth without major dips. These aren't stocks that are just pump and dumps. No, they're not. They have pumps. I know how to take advantage of it, but I'm not teaching you how to hold them until they dump. If that were to be the case, you would see tons of drop-offs in that profit chart that I just showed you. But that profit chart has been steady. A reason why it's have to be steady, guys. I had to pay my bills. I have to pay my bills. So that's how it's been able to stay steady. It's been a beauty, a flexible way to live, being my own boss. Here's some more examples of some overnight 24-hour gains. The one I just showed you was a 5-hour gain, 100% win in 5 hours. Here's a little bit of a smaller example, but still very minimal risk, a $3 stock. So a lot of people have that wrong perspective. You're trading penny stocks, you're trading small caps, you're trading micro. Everything's going to be a cheap stock. Look at this one. It's a $3 stock. It went up to $4. This is actually a cannabis stock. It's a dispensary, Curaleaf. I don't know if they have them in your states. This could be in your states. If you guys have them in your states, put them up there. If they're in your state, right up in the chat. Let me know if Curaleaf's in your state. But we were able to profit $800 on it. You can do whatever you want with this money. If you want to go use it at Curaleaf, you can go use your $800 at Curaleaf. Do whatever you want. But the beauty about the strategy is the fact that we got in at $3, or $3.12. We were risking 3, so only risking 3%, and the upside was 10%. For us, it kept going. You could have made more on it, but like I said, it's a rinse and repeat thing. You do this one night, you send it to the next night, and you continue to do that day in and day out. And we provide you with tools so you can find these patterns day in and day out. They show up almost every day. I actually just started with the Mavericks Mastery. We're 4 days open now. We started last Thursday. So it's been almost a week since we've been open. We've had 4 trades. So almost every day we have a trade. We're in the green. It's been a great journey so far. We made 550 on our first trade on one of these plays just like this. Another good example. So these aren't, like I said earlier, these aren't just penny stocks, but we do play penny stocks, all types of different stocks. This is a good example of one that drops a big amount and then spikes a big amount. And this is all in a short amount of time. These are minute candles. So we were able to actually make $2,500, 64% on our return in 15 minutes, guys. 64%, $2,400 right here on our return, guys. And this is all verified stuff on Profitly. So if you go to that website, you actually have to put in your broker, you put in your username, your password. All these trades are verified on there. IGPK happened in March of this year. We took advantage of it. We were risking a little more, 10%, but this is one of those unique plays that it's a super, super cheaper stock. So we're going to have to risk a little more, but the upside is usually a lot more. And honestly, with this one, guys, we made 64%, 2,400. So we only had $4,000 in this. So that just shows you how you grow a small account. You take 4,000 to now 6,500. That's how you're going to start gradually adding up these wins that we're talking about. And that's how you turn $500 into $425,000. It's catching these wins and making sure the losses are minimal. And that's a big thing that I'll show you in a second. NLST. So we also short stocks. We don't only long. We don't short as much. So if you are a short seller, you can profit from our strategy. If you're an option trader, you can still profit from our strategy. It's just a different type of thing. This is just doing it with shares. NLST was a short. We caught it at 474, risking 480, 489 to be the worst risk. But at the upside, that's only a 2% risk. So very minimal risk, 2 to 3% on the upside. always setting ourselves up in the right positions. We're not going to short the stock down here. What we're doing now is we're giving our shares back, and we're actually covering our short for 17% win right there. Yes, it does continue to go, but like I said, take the bag, move on to the next. And it's rinse and repeat every single day. So if you added all those wins up, just those three that I just went over, that's already, 3,700. We're already at $4,500 growing an account. And all of these guys are smaller account, or they're smaller sizes too that we're doing this with. The BSEM. So BSEM, this actually was a one we just went over. If you're in the Stock Mavericks Mastery, this just broke out again. So I always say what goes around comes back around. A lot of people say that if our plays don't happen, or once they happen, are they going to keep happening over and over? Like this, does this keep happening? Well, if you look at BSEM, if you have charts pulled up in front of you, pull this one up. You'll be able to see it just broke out, and we were just with the team in the Mavericks Mastery. Some of our Mavericks members actually took advantage of this play again, but we took this overnight, making $1,300. And then a big thing I want to point out, guys, is this is a $7 stock that hit $10. So yes, we're not only playing penny stocks. Our patterns are working for all different styles of stocks. And in this stock, we put about 4,000 as well. So as well, putting about $4,500 to make $1,300. So if you got $4,500 account, your account's now up to $5,800. That's great ways to grow your account. But we do lose. And I'm not here to tell you I just win every single trade. Losses are always a part of the game, but I always tell people, protect the boat. And that's the whole thing. Your profit is your hard-earned money. I've had other jobs where I had to work for $20 an hour. I had to work for $15 an hour. At Jimmy John's, when it was my age, I think it was like $13 an hour. I know what it's like to do that. So protect the boat, Making $500 overnight is special to me. Making $300 overnight, that feels great, Especially when you're competing with your regular job at first. And then once you start to really make more than your regular job, that's when you start to decide if you want to go full time or not. And kind of that's when I decided to do that. So that time comes up, and it really is realistic. It starts small though. It is a slow start, especially if you're going to start with a smaller account like I did, but it does gradually grow. At least in my history, it does. I can't guarantee anything for you guys, but I know that I've seen it, and I've seen my partners do it too. So cutting losses here. It's a big thing that I want to point out. We have 3 different stocks. These are all traded on the same day. As you can see, this was a March movement. It was cannabis stocks, all 3 of them. Cannabis stocks were the March movement. This is actually that same stock I just went over. So this sub penny stock right here that collapsed, this was in March that it did that. Look, it's back again, and I'm playing it again back at a penny. So like I said, what goes around comes back around, and I'm making money on it. So nice to be making, 10%, 13% there. So that's good. 40% there. So only having, again, 4,000, about $400 to $4,500 in this trade, making $2,600. So that takes a $4,500 account to $7,100. That's how you're going to grow your account. And then all of a sudden, you throw some of that $7,100 into here, and you buy $5,000 worth, and you make 13%. So now that you're at 7,300, now you're up to 7,800. So your 4,000 account turns to 7,800 just like that in 2 trades, but you're always going to run into losses. But if you know how to handle your losses, you'll be able to cut them in the right position. So just like we did here, a 3% loss, sticking with the same account size, pretty much. This was a little more. I think we had 7,000 here. So a little more. We even put a little more in this than these 2 stocks, but still got out with a 3% loss, very minimal, and only lost 186. So minus that from that, 7,800 I just said, you're still at 7,700. That's how you're going to grow an account, guys. You really just are adding up the patterns in the stocks that I'm going to show you that I've now traded for over 7 years, provide you these type of opportunities day in and day out. We make these wins. We end up on the downside. Like I said, the same type of patterns will give you the same downside as long as we're being precise with our entry spots. And no one's going to be perfect at first. I know all this looks picture perfect, but it takes time. Anything takes time. But once you get it, guys, this is a skill that literally lasts forever, and it just compounds, especially if you don't have to touch your account. If you don't have to touch your account like I did, where I had to actually pay bills and stuff, the beauty is it just compounds, and you're just putting more and more, and you're sizing more up and more up. And you're just really starting to grow that account. And that is just how you start to really possibly get above $425,000 in trading profits. All right. So let the winners win, cut the losses. But the important things are finding the stocks with the volatility that provide you that. And that's what we do. And this is the last one I'll go over. This was actually one of my biggest wins I just had. It was back in March of 15th. So this recently happened. I sent the buy and sell alert into my trading community. So my trading community was a part of this as well. They got to see a 145% winner overnight. And the best part about that was I was risking 7%. So to risk 7% to make 150%, it's very hard to find that anywhere. It is. So if you want to add this to your option trading strategy, it's amazing. If you want to create something new, it's amazing. You know, it's something that definitely is consistent. I'd say for me in my past history has been consistent, and I've seen it for others actually work. So yeah, that is just some good examples I wanted to show you guys, just to show you all of these plays were either in a 1 day or in 24 hours. So we are a rinse and repeat thing. Every day I provide you with tools that are going to be able to set you up with those kind of risk to reward ratios. So I hope you guys were able to take a couple of key takeaways today. I know I rambled a little bit. I'm going to go over questions in just a second. So if you guys have any questions, now is the time. Start putting them up in the question center. So let's throw up some questions up there. Put them in the Q&A. I'll go over those in just a second. Some key takeaways, though, I hope you guys took away is that penny stocks do offer great opportunities for rapid account growth. You know, 145% gains overnight, 20% gains overnight, 3% losses. That's how you're going to end up growing your account. I personally know that from my experience. You know, I started with $2,000 account. It didn't go anywhere when I was trading large stocks. And honestly, guys, there's so many big people that are eyeing down those large stocks. Your little $2,000 doesn't mean anything. You can easily get swallowed up and spit out when it comes to those kind of stocks. These stocks, it's a little more selective. We are great with taking advantage of them, and most people overlook them, and we help you find them. That's the big thing. And the great thing is when you pull up the Thanksgiving dinner, you know, and you start to find some consistency. My favorite part about my strategy is I find consistency and I start to tell my friends about it. And then I go to my family at Thanksgiving dinner and they only just talk about how they're trading like Google, Apple, and how it moved 3%, 4% all year. You know, and we're finding this 5, 15% gains every single day, day in and day out. And then how my strategy can help unlock the potential of these penny stocks. I hope you guys saw that through this. I hope that I was able to prove to you guys that wherever the volatility is, you can now trade with more confidence. If that doesn't prove to you that, come check us out in the Stock Mavericks Mastery, or check us out on Saturday on the short-term stock playbook. I'm going to show you guys how to trade with confidence, find the stocks that have the volatility, find the penny stocks, the microcap stocks that people aren't talking about yet, but still are volume, get in them before, and then the really volume starts to pour in, and then we get out of them before everything cools off. It's just taking advantage of momentum, guys. And that's what I'm going to teach in my short-term stocks playbook. So what to expect in this short-term stock playbook? It's going to be a 4-hour guide. I'm actually going to run through it 4 hours with you guys, and you're going to actually get this after. So you're going to get a recording after that you can watch it. It's going to be my proven sniper style strategy. So what you just saw about me able to find those explosive small cap stocks, I have a lot of different examples, a lot of different things I have to go over. There's checklists that go into every one of those patterns, and I'm going to go over those checklists. Mastering entry and exits, how to find the good timings on those. I really only trade in 2 hours of the day, the first hour and the last hour. And we talk about that. I talk about how I can pinpoint certain entries and exits. How I keep the minimal risk levels is because of that timing of the day. So if you are busy throughout the day, the first hour and the last hour, if you can just show up there, that's how you usually are benefit. I mean, my twin brother has a full-time job now because he loves filming. He actually films for the Florida Panthers, the professional hockey team. They just won the national championship, or I mean, they just won the championship. So pretty cool job to have, but he's still able to trade because he's using these tools, and he was able to learn this skill of mastering those entry exit levels and finding the right stocks that give you the risk levels, the risk management technique levels that I'll show you here in the short-term stock playbook. Also, market psychology. A lot of people think that trading is all about money. No, a big part of this is psychology. So we're going to talk about that. That's actually going to be a pretty good chapter. And then how to handle market volatility. So how do we take advantage of stocks that are moving? How do we take advantage of momentum and get out of them before they're not? All of that is going to be great stuff, and I'm very excited to bring that to you guys in the short-term stock playbook. Like I said, I'll be running through a 4-hour lesson. It's going to be some great stuff. And then also, I just opened the Mavericks Mastery. We merged our sniper team with the Mavericks team. So some people in Simpler are in there now. It's a great team. We've already had 4 trades, like I said. But a great example of the trades is we have pretty much won 2 of them, lost 2, but we still are up about $350. So it just shows you. And we're really only going smaller size right now because I'm trying to show everybody the strategy. So I'm only really putting $4,000 to $5,000 in positions right now just to show everybody how the strategy works. But we're already live, guys. So come join us. It's not just trading, though. It's a community. It's fun. We don't just talk about stocks. I like to talk about sports a lot. I'm a big music guy. I like to show people my music. I listen to all types of different music. So we're always talking music, all different types of stuff. But when it comes to stocks, I love it. So I'm usually there throughout the whole day. I'm actually live with you guys, just like this, trading for 2 hours of the day. It shows how transparent I am because I'm showing my alerts. I'm showing when I buy and sell stocks with you guys live, the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day. Also, I provide 2 watch lists a day. So if you're busy and you're doing different things, you can just sign in and look at these watch lists and benefit from those. That's definitely ways that you can benefit from this subscription. We got 2 watches a day, one at 9 in the morning Eastern, one at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then the weekly watch list, that's something I like to start. I say make Mondays fun again. Honestly, guys, all those jobs I showed you, I honestly never liked to work for somebody. And the last job, my gym manager job, I honestly hated my boss. So to wake up and to go to a boss was just, I hated it. And honestly, it was after college and just showing up to that every Monday, it was depressing. It really was. I was in a depressed state for sure after college, and to be able to find the market and then to be able to turn into this, it was honestly a beautiful thing. And I'm so blessed to be able to find it. And I just like to say, let's make Mondays fun again. So that's what's part of the community too. If you're bored throughout the Mondays, you're miserable, you don't really want to go to your job, maybe this is a way to put a little spark to that, put a little fire to it. There was nothing like waking up and going to my job I didn't like, or at least I liked my job, but my boss I didn't like, and then making money, while they're back there bitching and I'm just sitting there. All right, I just made some money this morning. We're good to go. So it was always the best feeling. I love doing that. And I believe you guys can do it too. And then the last thing is I do the webinar. So once a week, I'm going to continue doing the webinar. I review my trades. So that's another way. You got to be transparent. There's a lot of slimy people in this industry. We're here to show you that transparency is key. And I've been trading now with my community from 2018 till now. So I've had members literally since then that have been trading with me since then, watching all of my trades. And what's special is we are actually offering a limited time for all of you guys here today. This is actually the founders rate we're offering to everybody here today. So this is something special that Simpler Trading is doing. Prices are going to be going up. The Elite is actually going to be a full year with me. I highly recommend the Elite because it gives you some time to not only learn the short-term stock playbook, but then to put it into some action. If you want to just get your feet wet and, do the short-term stock playbook, you can do that. But usually I say experience is key. And definitely in this game, you want to have some experience. So I believe having a little bit, about a year to see if this is something that you can do is what I'd highly recommend. And honestly, this value is going to be a lot more in the future. So this is a founder's rate. It's literally for our founding Mavericks only. You can literally be with us at the inaugural week and you can get that rate. That's the Elite rate. So you'd have a full year and it'd be $1,800. The Pro, $597, and it's going to be a quarterly membership with the short-term stock playbook. The short-term stock playbook is Saturday. I'm doing 4 hours with you guys. going over everything I believe you need to know that got me from $500 to over $425,000 in 7 years. And I hope you guys are able to do it in a quicker time. And then if you do just want to get your feet wet, you can always just do that short-term stock playbook. That's something you just want to dabble in. That's okay. But like I said, experience is usually key. So I usually would like you guys to try the pro or elite, at least at first. And then if not, you can do the basic, get your feet wet and see if it's just something you want to do. So this is a founding rate. You're probably never going to see this again. What it's going to come with, you're going to be able to have me live. So any type of question you have with me, as well as all the other snipers I'm bringing from my old community, my brother, who has a very nice profit curve as well, he'll be in there as well, talking to you guys, bringing up the stocks he's looking at. So it's not just going to be me community. There's other traders that have been really well, that are going to be consistently, or that have been consistently profiting, that'll be in there as well, And I know a lot of millionaire traders, guys. I actually know people, been networking in this game for a long time because I've been trading for a decade. I know people that are millionaire traders off this strategy, and maybe we'll have them come in the room every once in a while. So that's my schedule. Every day I'm in the room with my team. I've started off last Thursday and we're having a blast where we're listening to music, like I said, jamming out, having good times. Tomorrow's Halloween. Maybe I'll dress up. Probably will. That's a little secret. Don't tell my room. But yeah, we have good times, and that's what life's about. It's not just about getting rich, even though getting rich is fun. And honestly, what's the point of getting rich by yourself? The whole purpose of me creating this community and merging my community into this one was because I want to have people to get rich with. It's always fun to get rich with others. What's the point if you're just sitting in your room by yourself making money over and over? I mean, it is great for sure. But if you have to go out with your friends and start buying all their meals and stuff, it's the purpose of that. So 8:15 to 9:30, I'm with you guys. And then I actually have an hour and a half in the afternoon. It's a 1:30 to 3, and that's Central Time. I'm an Eastern guy, but this is Central Time. That website right there, that's actually where you guys can find the deal. This is the founder rate only, so it's a limited time offer. You want to jump on that before it's too late. Here's the 4 things, the 4 tools that I provide for you every day that I believe that can get somebody quicker to that $425,000 in profit. It's a live chat. I'm talking in the chat as well as FaceTiming. You're going to get real-time alerts, so my buy and sell alerts, as well as other traders alerts you'll be able to see. You'll get my daily watch list, so you'll see twice a day I'm posting watch lists. Most of my buys and sells come from those watch lists. So if you're busy throughout the day, you can just jump in, read those watch lists, and most likely benefit from that. Can't promise anything. In the weekly webinars, once a week we meet up, and that's just to be transparent as ever. We review our trades. We go over your guys' trades. If you guys want to review a trade, a pattern, we'll go over your guys' trade. It's a time for us to meet. Not every trader out there has somebody to talk to. It's a lonely world. Sometimes your wife or your girlfriend, your best friend, they won't understand if they're not a trader. So we're here to talk to each other. Trading psychology is a big thing we talk about on weekly webinar Wednesdays too. So that's what I talk about, where it's bigger than a community. We're here to better ourselves in general as humans. If you guys have any questions, put them up in the box now. I'm about to go over them. And you can also reach out to our team. There's a number right there. You also have the support email. And we are available Monday through Friday. The weekends, still human beings. The markets close on the weekends. That's another beautiful thing about being your own boss, and the flexibility about becoming your own boss is, you still have the weekends off, and then you kind of can make your own schedule on the weekdays. Go golf, do what you want. If you are interested in this option, we do offer PayPal. So at the end of your payment, if you get to the end, you don't have to do anything different. You'll just see the option for PayPal. What's also great is they have a 0% interest for 6 months. So if this is something, oh no, this is something I'm a little iffy about, you can slowly pay it off. You really have to put this into perspective, guys. The deal that I'm offering for that elite, this limited time offer that I'm offering you guys, that's $17.97 monthly. It breaks down to $150 a month, which then breaks down to only $5 a day. And if you break it down to $5 a day, 0% interest, if you want to pay it off, you just got to cut out one coffee. That's all we got to do. We got to cut out one coffee to invest in our own future. Think about what cutting out one coffee did to my life. It was able to get me my own house. You know, the goal, it's almost limitless. I can't guarantee anything, but you see in my story what cutting out one coffee a day can do for you. And maybe it's not coffee, maybe you don't drink coffee, but it just shows you what $5 a day to trade with me live could potentially do. You know, it could be a life-changing thing for some people out there. So that's something I want to point out. It looks like it's a lot at the time, 1797. That's a big number, but you got to break it down, compare it to gym memberships. A Netflix membership is $30. You know, you start to compare things that maybe that you don't need. Streaming services out there. Sure, you have a couple of them you don't watch anymore. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I compared it to school because that's when I was starting to trade stocks. And if you really compare it to school, this is cheaper than any class. And most classes don't give you a skill that's going to teach you how to make money, and that's going to teach you how to make money forever. So there's nothing guaranteed, but I know in my past history, that's what it's done for me. And now I'm here, you know, being able to do my own thing. And I have friends as well that's able to do that too. So this is our Founders Rate, our limited time offer. Jump on it while you guys can. I recommend the Elite. Would love to have you guys. Hopefully I see you tomorrow in the Mavericks Mastery with me. If not, hopefully I see you with the basic. And we'll talk together some more on Saturday. We'll go over my full short-term stock playbook. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let's dive into questions. Now is the time. If you guys have any questions, let's finish it off here. I'll see if we got some answered, it looked like, and then we'll get in. But let's see what's going on here. This is a good one. It says, how is this different from free info online? And yeah, that's definitely a great question. I honestly started this community because all the fugazi that was online, especially when it comes to penny stocks and when it comes to short-term stocks. Twitter has so much crazy stuff on there of fake people and all that stuff. So that's why I started my community. What you're seeing here is 7 years of real results. I mean, I've traded with my community now for 7 years, so they've been able to see it. So these are results that they've seen step by step with me, day by day, week by week. So free content is always online, but this is some valuable stuff here, guys. This is some valuable stuff. And like I said, you know, we do offer that 6-month no interest. So you can always enroll in something like that. If money is always a big thing, you know, it's usually money and time. Those are usually the two things that people have excuses when it comes to this. So money, you know, the no interest thing, or also trying to save up, you know, like we said, a coffee a day could help you out. The timing thing, what I like to talk about when it comes to timing is I had a full-time job, guys. I couldn't make that an excuse. I think that's just an excuse. I also traded on my phone when I had a full-time job. And that's something I teach you in the short-term stock playbook, as well as in my Mavericks Mastery, how to set yourself up on the phone and on your computer, because you can profit on your phone. That's definitely something that I've done. That's what I started with. So don't let that be an excuse. I also provide you with a watch list twice a day. And that kind of helps people that are busy throughout the day get around that. So as long as you could show some time up to the market, you still should be able to profit. And at first, it might not be, there's nothing guaranteed, but at first, it might not be, you know, big wins, but it's all about finding what works at first. And then once you start to get consistent, like I said, you start beating your profit, or I, at least personally, started beating the profit that I was making daily on my gym management job. And then I was making more weekly. And then it became, should I even show up here anymore? So that becomes a thing too. It's great. All right, let's see. Mike, what if the strategies are too complex for me? I'm not very experienced. I love that. This is definitely a great question, but I believe the strategy is for anybody, advanced traders all the way up to beginners. I'd recommend somebody like that who's just at the beginning to make sure that they start with the short-term stock playbook. So if you want to become a part of the mastery, I highly recommend it, but you definitely want to at least start with the short-term playbook, because you need to learn about this strategy. This is going to be a 4-hour class with live trading and support materials. And I'm going to be available during those live sessions to answer you at any time. So that's something that I do want to bring up. Let's see. Mike, I'm worried I don't have enough time to commit to this program. I can't be at the computer all day. So this is usually another question that comes up a lot. Just like I said, timing's usually the other thing that a lot of people talk about. And like I said earlier, this short-term playbook is designed for efficiency, guys. So it really is going to show you how to take advantage of the market in a shorter amount of time frame. Sometimes, for the most part, I know I'm telling you they're 24-hour trades, but honestly, they're usually an hour or two because we're buying in the last hour of the day, which is 3 to 4. And then we're selling in the first hour from 9:30 to 10:30. And the market's closed in between. So even though it shows it's 24 hours, it's technically only 2 hours usually. That's usually the most we're in a stock. Mike, I've always heard penny stocks are extremely risky and often associated with scams and pump and dumps. I love this question because it's true. How can trading penny stocks be a legitimate strategy for growing my account safely? I didn't believe it at first either until I really found that first cannabis win that doubled my account. Come join us. I'd love to show you a win. Once you get the feel for that first win, especially if it's pretty nice, that starts to give you the belief, especially if you have a smaller account too. Because when you have a smaller account and you're trading those larger stocks, it is so hard to go anywhere. Usually you just go up, down, up, down, up, down. This is a good way to really grow your account. It's not risky, as you saw with my examples. I'm kind of showing you guys how to set yourself up at risk every day. And we're going to go more into detail about that in the short-term stocks playbook. So let's see what other questions we got. Let me see if anybody answered them. So a couple of these questions we have answered. Yeah, Thinkorswim is what I use, so that's beautiful. I'm glad. All right. Mike, how do I know this is different than Forex indexes? Because have a bad experience with some scanners. I love that. You got to come try it out. Forex and indexes, I'm not too familiar with it, but I think they fund you money. I'm not here to fund you money. I'm here to show you that you can do this by you clicking your own buttons. With Forex and indexes, you usually can start with cheaper or lower accounts. I'd say you want to start with $2,000 to $3,000. So very similar to that, but this has the return to risk that I can show you has happened to me for the past 7 years. And I also have, like I was talking about, my partners did the same. How do you calculate risk percent? That's a great question. Every time we get in a trade, we usually know how much we're risking on the stock because of the certain levels that I find. So there are precise levels that my patterns give you. Every pattern I offer you has a checklist that we go over. That checklist has a risk level. And if the risk level is too wide, that's no longer a stock we're going to get into, and we won't get into it. So that's important for you guys to realize. We're not just buying any penny stock. There's a lot of things that go down. Volume is in the checklist. Risk level is in the checklist. So that's a big, big thing for sure. And that's how we calculate risk. But usually I'd say what you're comfortable with losing. So usually if you're at 5%, some people would say, what do I start with? Whatever you're comfortable with losing at 5%. So I like to usually calculate a 5% downside, usually a 15% to 10% upside. So it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward. And then what happens is you're actually going to hit bigger wins every once in a while. You'll hit 25 to 30%. That's what grows your account. And then what's great is you can actually lose 3 times and win once and break even. And then sooner than later, you're not going to lose 3-to-1. You're actually going to sometimes win all 3 instead of winning 3 and losing 1. So that's something that'll happen to you guys, and that's how the account compounds and grows. How did you learn to trade? Where from? Like I just talked about, it was literally trial and error. From 2015, finding long-term stocks, investing my hard-earned money that I was a bartender, putting $2,000, literally putting that money aside, my tip money, investing it into the market. That's how I did it. I found Rite Aid. It doubled my account. That took a full year to double my account. Then cannabis was legalizing in Colorado. So what I decided to do, I knew about cannabis stocks, penny stocks. That was my first time ever trying penny stocks. That $2,000 that I turned into $4,000, I decided to put $2,000 into one cannabis stock. That cannabis turned $2,000 to $4,000. Then there was a whole story behind it, but I had to create my strategy. So what happened was I thought I knew what I was doing. I actually turned that 2,000 into 16,000. And then I long-term invested into these cannabis stocks holding and hoping, just buying stocks, and instead of just selling like I was before, I would just think that they're real companies. They all eventually came back down. So I lost my money. So I lost an account at first, and that's completely fine. So I lost my first $2,000 that I invested. Then I put a $3,000 account in. And this time around, I wasn't going to make that mistake where I was just going to let my account drown out. I know that I found stocks that worked and I found stocks that could double my account, but I also know that they can go down if I don't know how to cut them. And that's how I was able to create the trials and tribulations. And then I met up with my twin brother and my best friend every Wednesday, and we played the same style of stocks. So we all went over those together, and then we talked every single day, and we chatted with each other every single morning. And that's how we taught each other. So it was really just bouncing ideas off of us three. And it's a trial and tribulation thing. And that's how I created these 5 patterns that I trade now today. And I don't stray away from anywhere from those 5. I just trade those 5 patterns. Sometimes I'll do options, but it's very rare. But sometimes the patterns I have, they'll line up with an option stock. Do you consider the float any type of catalyst? That's a great question. Yes, I do. Low float stocks are the stocks I like to play. So low float, small cap stocks are my favorite. But it's not necessarily like a catalyst that's going to run it, but that's part of the checklist. When you grow your membership, what is to prevent the performance from decreasing as many traders in your group will be chasing the same stocks? Donald, this is a great question. A lot of people think that I'm just buying stocks to pump them with my community. No, I've been with the community now for 7 straight years. So I've been doing this. These kind of stocks trade millions of dollars. So our money is not going to really affect these stocks. We would have to have thousands of traders. We're nowhere close to thousands of traders, and this is your chance to jump in and learn this stuff before it possibly gets bigger. My membership when I was a sniper was cheaper, and now it's gone up, and it's probably going to keep going up, so take advantage of this stuff now before other people, learn about this. But honestly, I've been learning about this for 7 years now. The same thing you said right there. I told myself, like, aren't other people going to find out about this and this is eventually going to turn like old? No, it's not like that. There's Google, Apple, all those big stocks. That happens over and over because all the eyes are there. With this, there's not enough eyes. So we just know how to take advantage of it. But it's not like no one's there. Trust me, the stocks we're finding, they're trading millions of dollars. You'll see when you start to trade with us. What about overnight gap ups? How you handle those? That's what we like to do. We always are setting ourselves with risk the night before. And yes, pre-market, we do trade. Let me finish off. It looks like we only have a couple more questions. I know I'm over 9, so I'm going over the time a little bit, but I'll finish off these last 2-3 questions and then we'll finish it. Shout out to everybody that showed up, the Florida people, especially West Palm. Shout out to you guys. Much love to all the people that were here today. Really appreciate it. Can I say I know nothing yet? Advice would you give me? Yeah, if you know nothing, come join me in the short-term stock playbook. It's honestly the founder rate. You can be with us at our inaugural time. It's honestly a big moment in my trading career. I believe I can take this 425K to now over $1 million. My biggest goal now is to become $1 million trader. So that's my goal. Hopefully you guys can watch me and follow along with me as I do it. And I would say the first step is to just join up with the short-term stock playbook, or at least the pro membership, or do the elite and really invest in yourself. Think about this. This is investing in yourself, guys. This is just like a gym membership where you invest in yourself for your health. This is investing in your future. So this is investing in yourself. Haha. Yeah, 425 the down payment on a nice house in South Cal. Luckily, when I bought my house, it was only worth around 450, so I had enough to down payment. Now it's worth over close to 700. So it's crazy to see what houses do, but it just shows you the potential. Yes, I use Thinkorswim, but you can use this with any type of trade. AJ, what up, boy? Nice to see you here. Yeah, what AJ said. If you live with your parents, put some money aside, take advantage of the skill. Heck yeah, AJ's been with me. He's been a friend of mine, Amari Matthew. I call him AJ. He's been a friend of mine since elementary school. He's been trading with me since day one, literally before I even had a group. So That's my boy right there. I'm glad he was able to make it today, man. Shout out Amari. Can I watch the recording? We are going to get a recording back. Shout out. AJ was a part of the original crew with my best friend and my twin brother. The recording sent out via email. Can I make a payment? Who can I talk to get started? Let's do it, Edgar. Let's get started. Make the payment. The 1,700 is the right way to go. I highly recommend it to all you guys. We can do this. Think or swim. When you go your membership, what does it prevent your performance from decreasing? Oh, we already answered that question. All right. Nope, you can execute with whatever broker you'd like. Yeah, I think we got everything, guys. That, I think, wraps it up. Amari, appreciate you being here, guys. We had a nice crew here. Appreciate all you guys. This is the last time I'm going to bring it up, but limited time offer. Founding rate, guys. We got a basic 347 if you just want to do the short-term stock playbook. That's going to be me, we're going to be together for 4 hours. So if you want to come join me on Saturday, I would love to see you. The Pro, $597. Check us out, quarterly membership, as well as that short-term playbook, or the Elite. Would love to see you guys in the team tomorrow, tagging bags with us. If not, would love to see you guys on Saturday in the short-term stock playbook. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Much love to everybody out there. Pat yourself on the back for showing up on a Saturday. You guys made yourself better as a human on a Saturday. You're investing in yourself. Much love to everybody out there. Every night, when that moon gets big and bright, supernatural delight. You're gonna end off with the pup. All right, guys. Much love there.